here with cross-country coach Nat McReynolds. Coach, going into your second meet of the season this Saturday at Sam Houston State, your sophomore Josh Wilkins won the men's SFA dual meet last week. How did he run, and then what did you want to see improvement from him and the rest of the team going into Sam Houston State?
Well, Josh had a solid race last week at SFA. He was very technical in his first and second miles as we pushed into the third. Going into the Sam Houston meet, we're going to be extending the race from a 5K to a 4-mile, which is, the first longer distance race of the year. So we want to be solid all through the race. We want to stay consistent and kind of negative split as we go through the 4 miles.
You mentioned a lot of freshmen on this team. Freshmen, especially in Louisiana, typically don't run the longer races like a 4-mile. How difficult is it to adjust to that distance, and how crucial is that going to be in the first race of the season?
Well, majority of high school kids, they learn to run a 5K for cross country, and 2 miles is the longest for track. Well, when you compare, you push what you have in that last mile. Well, you add that extra mile on there, it just kind of changes the texture of the race. And you have to really rely on your conditioning and your strength and your speed, which you build through essentially 16, 17 weeks of training up until now.
Against the SFA, it's a dual meet, just you and SFA. Now going into the Sam Houston meet, you can see 10 to 15 teams, a lot of conference teams in there. How does that change with more runners and potentially more runners you're going to see at conference?
Well, you really get to see where you stack up against your competitors. You get to see at the beginning of the year where your conditioning levels are and kind of where you're going. Most teams right now are kind of still in their training phases, just like we are. We're still pushing through some of our harder stuff. We haven't started peaking yet for conference.
And then on the women's side, Jacqueline Rushford and Erin Rojak led the way last week. What did you see from those girls, and how do you want that side to improve going into Sam Houston State?
Well, it's really fun watching those two run. They kind of have a competitive nature between those. Ren doesn't like Jack beating her, and Jack doesn't like Ren beating her. So Jack got her on a little bit in that last 400 meters. So this week, I see Ren going after a little bit of redemption.
Nathan, is there anything else that you're really focused on in this meet? Second meet of the season with conference about 7 weeks away. What are you starting to look for as the season goes on?
Well, right now we're looking at technical things, how you're thinking during the race, how you're changing yourself during the race. Are you adapting to what's going on in the race? Sometimes races are a little slower at the beginning. Can you push yourself into a position to compete? Then as the season goes, we want to really have your paces in line so that when we do get to conference, you can really race within yourself.
Coach, man, I really appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.